And another 20-minute tech for Irving Middle School teachers. This is about Google Docs and how to organize it. Our topics today, remember that it's Google, so you search it. And we'll go through the advanced search as well. Can't forget collections. That's how you organize things in folders. And we'll talk about trash and storage. So here I am in a typical Google Docs home screen. You'll also know you're in the home. If you look on the search bar, you'll see that the home category is showing. So I can close that and I will be looking at all items. The real difference between home and all items is that I can remove things from the home screen. In other words, I'm going to mark this first document that is located in home. As I use the More drop-down, I do have an option that says Don't Show in Home. Now you'll see a difference. When I click on All Items, it does show. However, on my home screen, it does not. My Collections is very similar to your Windows operating system folders, with the exception of your documents can exist in more than one folder. Here's an example. In My Collections, I have two folders. One is called Meetings, and one is called SBIT Stuff. Under Meetings, if I open up this drop-down, you'll see I have Middle School SBITS Collaboration, and I do have that one in an orange color so you can see it. But if I open up my SBIT Stuff, this is also available to me underneath that collection. I do that so that I can find items in two places instead of one. This can be very handy for teachers that have students who need to be followed up on, yet they also need to be a part of the full class. It's one way you can organize. Now it's time for some real searching. The search bar is our power. Apparently, we have one document that contains the word power. So I can search by subjects, and I'll find not only collections that have that word in it, but also documents, presentations, spreadsheets that all contain the word that I'm searching for. This would be great if students use their last name as their naming convention so that you can search for a student's work. Another great tool is the drop-down advanced search. I can simply look for anything that's in my documents, or I can get more specific. Maybe all I'd like to see are drawings or spreadsheets. I can search that way. Anything that I've put out as a form, I can search for that. But now we can get more specific based on how I've shared or not shared a document. Perhaps I just want to see documents that I own and no one else owns. And then the all-encompassing what is private, what is not shared, and those things that are shared with me. These are things that I have not created, but someone has shared with me, and I can see different names over on the right. Items shared with me is a little different than collections shared with me, because collections shared with me must be filed away in one of these folders. Some people will share out items with you that are just individual documents. Best way to find those is your search, but you can narrow the search with shared with me. In this example, I've used a search term, and I'm still looking within my own documents or those that are shared with me. However, we can search throughout our entire Fairfax County domain. Simply use the search function at the bottom, and now I'm searching through documents that are shared for the entire school district. That's a great opportunity to share amongst colleagues throughout the county. If you're still having trouble finding some of your documents, Another option is the Sort drop-down. The default is last modified, and that's very helpful in a teaching situation if you have students currently working on documents. You can watch as it progresses who has modified a document most recently. So normally your class will show up on top. However, I prefer the last opened by me. I know the last thing I worked on in my Google Docs, and I'll be able to get to it quickly. Another very simple way is, of course, by title. You may be interested in how much storage you're using on Google Docs. You are allowed 1 gigabyte of storage, which isn't much, but no Google-created document counts against your storage. Here is an example of a Word document being stored in your Google Docs account. I know it's a Word document because of the symbol, the W, and of course the .doc. And I also know that it is taking up storage in my account. One way to avoid this is to convert it to a Google document. Select the document, choose More, and say Export to Google Docs. Now there's a copy of syllabus sample, and it's a little lower here since I have mine ordered. Syllabus sample down here does not use any storage because, as you can see from the symbol, the icon, this is a Google Doc and no longer a Word document. The same thing is true for images or spreadsheets or even PDF files. This is not true for videos. The last sort example I'd like to show you is called priority. Google determines priority based on 2 factors. One is how often you open the document, and 2, are the keywords in the document used more often within your Google account. Some teachers use the starred option by creating a star on the document. That'll be a fast way to get to your most recently used or commonly used documents. Before we end our session, let's talk about trash. Your trash is simply another holding bin for documents. The trash is never removed unless you choose to empty the trash or permanently delete an item. If you do delete an item, you will receive that storage back. So if you delete a Word document, a PDF, or an image, you will receive that storage back. If it's in the trash, however, it is still taking up storage space. If you choose to delete an item that has been shared, you'll have some new options. One is to trash it for everyone who you now share it with. Probably not the best option because other folks may still want to use the document. But you can choose a different owner for the document. Once you give ownership to someone else, they can then decide whether or not to trash that document. It's probably the best option. You might want to inform people when you do this that you're giving a new owner to the document. So now it's time for me to get busy and go to my not in collections list, and I need to start organizing so that I am organized and I can find everything through Google Docs.